Let's jump right into it. Number 8, the monkey to human mix-up. Everyone says humans evolved from monkeys, like your great-great-grandpa was just flinging poop from a tree, and one day decided to pay taxes. But that's not how evolution works, at all. We didn't evolve from monkeys, we evolved with them. We're cousins, not upgrades. Like if a cat and a tiger had the same weird grandpa, but one ended up in a studio apartment and the other runs the jungle. According to evolutionary biologists, humans and modern monkeys split off from the same prehistoric species, a weird little tree climber that's long gone. One branch led to apes and monkeys, the other to us. Same old genetic tree, just very different twigs. If humans evolved from monkeys, then monkeys would have disappeared. They didn't. They're still here, still throwing tantrums over bananas, still racking up views on TikTok. This whole mess started in the 1800s, when Darwin said humans and apes had a common ancestor. People misheard it as humans came from monkeys, then passed it around like a bad game of telephone. Now it lives on in Reddit rabbit holes, and every podcast with truth in the title. So next time someone says we came from monkeys, remind them you've never seen a monkey file taxes, but you've definitely seen humans act like they still belong in the zoo. Number 7. The shark blood lie. You've heard it since childhood. One drop of blood and sharks come sprinting through the sea, like underwater vampires with a GPS, or a crime scene investigator but hungrier. Cool story. Just not remotely how it works. Sharks do have a strong sense of smell, but it's not supernaturally strong. Researchers tested this, and found it takes about 1 drop of blood in 25 gallons for them to notice. That's barely half a bathtub. Smell spreads slowly in the ocean. It's not a cartoon trail they follow like a hound. It's more like tossing perfume into a hurricane. They need the scent and the current to drift the right way, and even then, they're guessing. If sharks could really lock onto blood from miles away, beach injuries wouldn't be a lifeguard issue, they'd be a Coast Guard alert. The myth exploded after movies like Jaws, where sharks weren't fish. They were demons with theme music. Now it's everywhere. You'll hear it in tourist boats, even kids' books. 1 drop of blood and suddenly you're toast. But if that were true, nobody with a paper cut would survive a snorkel tour, and half the world's surfers would already be fish food. So if you nick your finger and panic, relax. You're not summoning a murder torpedo, just mildly flavoring the ocean. Number 6, the late night weight lie. You grab a snack at night and suddenly it feels like a crime. People say late night eating makes you gain weight faster, as if your body turns into a calorie hoarder after 8 p.m. Cute theory, terrible science. Your body doesn't care what time it is. It's running 24/7. Calories don't turn evil just because you ate them in the dark. Doctors have said it for years. Weight gain is about how much you eat, not when. If timing truly mattered, then eating a salad at 10 p.m. would be worse than deep frying a pizza at noon. And athletes eating late-night protein would be waking up 5 pounds heavier. Here's where this myth came from. Some studies noticed that people who eat late often gain more weight, but they forgot to mention those same people also ate more in general. The hour isn't the problem, the habits are. And yet the myth survives. You still hear it from fitness TikToks, gym bros, even cereal ads. And people tiptoe to the fridge like it's a moral failure. So if you're hungry before bed, eat. Just don't let the fridge guilt trip you. It doesn't even have eyes. Number 5. CPR requires mouth-to-mouth first. Everyone says you start CPR with a big, heroic breath. You lean in, tilt the head, seal the lips like you're inflating a balloon with your soul. One dramatic puff and they jolt awake. Cool scene. Doesn't actually work like that. Modern CPR doesn't start with breathing. It starts with pushing. Doctors figured out that chest compressions alone can double survival because the body still has oxygen. It just needs circulation. Think of it like a stalled car. You don't add more gas, you jumpstart the battery. The mouth-to-mouth obsession came from old training manuals. And TV. Every drama made it look heroic, romantic, and easy. Meanwhile, real rescuers were busy pumping chests, not swapping spit. But the myth stuck. You'll hear it in high school health class. See it in YouTube CPR tutorials that haven't aged well. Even some workplace posters still preach it. And people hesitate to help, thinking breath comes before action. Like you need breath-freshening gum before saving a life. If that were true, half of all collapses would turn into weird blind dates, and CPR dummies would come with flavored chapstick. So if someone goes down, skip the smooch. You're not auditioning for a rom-com, you're restarting a heart with your hands. Number 4. Bulls get angry at red. Everyone says bulls go insane when they see red. Wave a red cape and they charge like it's personal. That's a great story, with zero truth. Bulls are colorblind to red. They don't even notice the color. What they're reacting to isn't the cape, it's the motion. The fast, jerky, aggressive waving. You could swap the red for blue, green, or SpongeBob bedsheets and they'd charge anyway. Researchers tested this and bulls reacted the same no matter what color was flapping in front of them. And here's the part no one tells you. The red isn't for the bull, it's for the audience. It hides the blood. That's the only reason it's red. The rage is real, the color is stage design. If bulls actually hated red, they'd be attacking fire trucks, lipstick, and Santa Claus. Every Valentine's Day would be a bloodbath. But instead we repeat the myth. In cartoons, in arguments, in weird dad metaphors, he's like a bull when he sees red, as if bulls are just walking temper tantrums with fashion opinions. They're not. They're animals being provoked for entertainment, and we convinced ourselves they hate a color they can't even see. So if you're ever wearing red near a bull and get charged, don't worry. He'd have done the same thing if you were wearing beige. Number 3. You only use 10% of your brain. Everyone says you got this giant, powerful brain, and you're barely using it. Like owning a private jet just to sit in the cockpit and eat peanuts. Cool flex, if it were true. But if 90% of your brain was doing nothing, you'd forget how to breathe every time someone asked you a question. Doctors have scanned brains during sleep, arguments, even daydreams, and they light up like Times Square. There's no dark warehouse of unused genius back there. It's more like a busy airport, every terminal buzzing just to keep your mouth synced to your thoughts. Your brain runs language, memory, coordination, emotions, impulse control. Even right now, it's translating these words into meaning, while regulating your heartbeat and pretending not to panic about taxes. So where did the 10% myth come from? Back in the early 1900s, psychologists tested brain function with crude tools. They saw small areas react and assumed the rest was just decoration, which is like using one light bulb to judge the power grid. But it spread fast, it sounded inspiring, and gave bad teachers something motivational to say. Now, it's everywhere. You'll still hear it from self-help influencers. If that were true, then dolphins, who use most of their brains, would be running Apple by now. So if you're still waiting to unlock your full mental capacity, don't. You've already got every light switch on. Number 2, carrot eyesight myth. Everyone says carrots are nature's night vision goggles. You eat enough and suddenly you'll be spotting owls in the dark, like some kind of orange-powered sniper. Cool idea. Zero truth. Carrots don't upgrade your eyesight. They help prevent night blindness, but only if your body is starved of vitamin A. Nutrition researchers found this out. Once your vitamin A levels are normal, eating more carrots does absolutely nothing. You're not stacking night vision bonuses, you're just tinting your digestive system orange. If carrots actually gave you night vision, the military wouldn't need night vision goggles. Snipers would be chewing during missions, and optometrists would be out of business. Here's the wild part. This myth wasn't just a mistake, it was World War II propaganda. British pilots were shooting down enemy planes at night, but instead of revealing they were using radar, they claimed they ate a lot of carrots. The myth was planted to fool the enemy. It worked. Even now, 80 years later, it's still fooling kids at dinner tables. You'll hear it from your mom. Your school lunch posters screamed it. So if you're cramming carrots hoping for hawk vision, don't. You're not upgrading your eyes. You're just falling for war propaganda with better branding. Number 1, baby bird abandonment lie. You spot a helpless baby bird on the ground. Someone says, "Don't touch it. The mom will smell you and reject it." It sounds noble, respectful. Turns out birds aren't that dramatic. Birds don't care if you touched it. Most birds don't even have a strong sense of smell. They're not sniffing for human and kicking their kids out of the nest. Researchers tested this by returning handled chicks to nests, and the parents kept feeding them, because nature doesn't have time for drama. If that were true, then wildlife rehab centers would be orphan factories, and zookeepers would wear gloves made of lies. Here's the real twist. That myth wasn't for the bird, it was for you. Adults invented it to stop kids from poking wildlife. Easier to say the mom will abandon it than explain disease risk, broken wings, or basic ecology. But it stuck. That one terrifying sentence scared off generations of helpful kids, and made birds look like emotionally fragile soap opera moms. Even now, people will freeze mid-rescue. Wait, what if the mom gets mad? She won't. She's busy keeping predators away and dodging death by house cat. So yes, if you see a grounded chick, you can gently return it to the nest. You won't get banned from the bird kingdom, and mom won't call bird CPS. That's all for now. Subscribe to see what's coming next, hit like, or start a comment debate. It all helps.